A mismatched stone-headed mathematician, a battery-wielding, spell-swinging master of the arcane arts, a shadow-stepping, pepperoni fleshlight master of the dark arts, and a half-ape. Once a respectful, underleveled group of misfits and dwarf robbers, now a bunch of thieving murderers, pillagers, and hunted by the continent's most notorious bounty hunter. After beginning their journey, reaching the first city, rumors spread of the group's activities, with a dwarf outside the walls. They didn't have much time there, and they knew it. After trying to fix their mess and aiding the villagers, they felt a mysterious corruption looming over the city. They spoke to the mayor, who at first glance was a nobleman. Things did not stay so noble for long, though. In an attempt to help a monk in trouble, the group set alight the mayor's palace, causing mass panic in the group's hasty evacuation. They didn't think much until they encountered the humming of the bard bounty hunter, Sir Roberto the First Rottenstein. He hacked and he slashed. They managed to flee like cowards as they outran their impending doom. For now, they made some distance. Respite didn't seem so far away after such battles, but overconfidence is a slow killer. The group, battered, bruised, and bloody, looked for shelter. A wizard's tower, perhaps a time for rest and recuperation, only to find the wizard tried to coagulate two of the beaten members into his own vile concoction of potion. Little did they know this was a warning for a greater, more barbaric scheme. With the threat of Rottenstein on the trail, the group could do nothing but push on. They reached a bridge, while seemingly innocent, proved to be yet another challenge. It was apparent this world is not for the faint of heart, if even a bridge proves to be a threat. The half-ape struggled to cross. A portal made it far easier without the weights of 10-ton apes. They came across an ancient orcish village that had stood for centuries. At first hostile, they showed the tribe the ancient necklace they had found on their journeys. A sign of respect and achievement, the necklace was worn and they were allowed safe passage into this temporary haven. Food, shelter, warmth, and good company. A strange feeling for the adventurers, but most welcome. They purchased wares, shared stories, and challenged the chieftain to a test of strength. Night falls, as does the rain, heavy enough to mask anything within 30 feet. From the warmth of the village, a distant clanging is heard. The orcs ordered the group to look. They could not refuse. Outnumbered and outmatched, they reluctantly approached the sound. Rottenstein had arrived. He simply looked and smiled demonically. The clanging continued. Each swing of his sword chipped away the crumbling stone bridge, piece by piece, until what little structural integrity it once had was no more. The bridge fell into the mud and rocks below, awakening something that had made them wish they had faced Roberto instead. A gargantuan rock throne! Even a goblin like Sam Schmorkel could understand what this beast had in its mind. A colossal rock-smothered fist flew towards Shureef Wizardson. His allies watched, petrified as they are reminded of their fragility and insignificance against such adversity. Amongst all, Pedanticus steps up as his wizarding companion was certainly doomed. A small barrier projected is just enough to save him, but it certainly isn't the end. In another attempt, the rock troll swings again, with his remaining arm primed, this time for the cowering Half-Ape. A pure chance happened upon this night being a full moon. The exposure created a monstrosity to rival the appearance of the rock troll. Prime Ape was born, a hulking ginger beast with enough strength to topple a city, but with not enough thought to fill a page. What the fuck? Combat ensued. The group could only marvel at such a powerful clash. He overpowered the beast with what little help the group could give. Prime Ape had saved the island, but at what cost? Bloody and still enraged, he shared the mentality of the opposing giant. Destroy! Maim! gains! Sprinting towards the group on all fours, it was obvious what he intended. Miss Antionette's quick thinking resulted in a splash of holy water dousing the ape, a common ailment to dull the effects of a curse. A dazed giant ape falls. The village collapses under the weight of him. Perhaps it is poetic, crushed by the monster they said to die. After the doom of the village and fire spreading across the island, the shrinking potion they used on the half-ape had turned him to the size of a pea. Riding Miss Antoinette's pocket, they fled the scene to camp for the night, only to awaken to the sound of a furious green mass of feral orcs. Having lost all they worked for, they came for what little they can recover. Revenge! They tried to reason. So much combat, so much death, and blood. Oh, so much blood. The group need not fight again, surely. It was all in vain. The horde charged. A hooded figure beckons them on the beach below. They had no choice but to follow and trust in darkness. Following, they boarded a small ship and set sail into the unknown, revealed to be the mayor's daughter. The hooded figure was a pleasant sight. Perhaps an ally, perhaps a friend. The mayor had set on destroying and corrupting this land with the arcane arts, with the help of a notorious wizard. After what they had done, it was dwarfed by this madman's maniacal ideology. Determined to help stop this, they joined forces and shared a momentary bond on that small sloop, only to be halted by the Warden of the North Sea, a demigod like no other, guarding the realms of the North Sea from intruders. They had no other option but to pull the emergency mechanism in the hopes of a rescue. A mechanical stroke of genius unfolded before their eyes. This ancient Dwemer ship transformed into an advanced light crystal-propelled flying contraption, elevating them far above the dangers of the sea. Being up here wasn't so bad. No dangers to face. The open air and unrivaled amounts of freedom quickly stripped from them as they were ambushed by the notorious Captain Perosia and her mates. They were quickly grappled by the ginormous soaring galleon. With no choice but to cross the rope to the great ship, they climbed. The half-ape falls. Nothing new there. Nothing filled his eyes but fear of the depths below. Powerless at dropping like a stone, the wizard managed one last desperate spell to save him from the grasp of the great blue abyss. Crossing onto the ship resulted in the most conflict the group had faced. Pirates and banditos rushed them. Cutting through each enemy with their might and arcane powers, the group prevailed, dethroning the pirate legend and obtaining her power and loot. She fell with an incredible force, frustration, and fury. More destructive than 100 cannons, her power consumed the ship wood to metal it hurtled down. The ground closed in. With some makeshift parachutes and a couple of snowfall spells, the group barely survived the terrible collision. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, the group had every direction to go in, but they did nothing other than camp and rest, because they're morons. The mind cannot hope to withstand such an assault. Morning comes. They head for a cave after encountering a gnome, insisting his battle chicken should face the group's pets. Inside is a small cavernous town, seemingly uninhabited. Its members are made out after they notice the adventurers approach. After some equipment purchases, they consult the supposed leaders of the town, two elderly miners with nothing but gloom and disappointment in their expressions. The group helps them move a boulder that had placed itself in front of their abode, only to find themselves battling a crystal rock column. After making quick work of the intruder, they are soon treated as guests, and perhaps even the saviors of the town. Much have been left untold. This is mere stepping stones from the team's journey. Who knows what the future holds? Death? Fortune? Perhaps both? But for now, a moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.